Once upon a time, in the University of Abuja, there lived a beautiful and intelligent young woman named Isabella. Isabella was a daughter of a nurse. She was the only child of her family. Her mother, Doris, was a very good nurse in UNTH Enugu. As the only child of her mother, she took all her savings to see her in school. Isabella received a quality education from her parents. Her mother, Doris, made sure she provided her everything she needed as a girl. Isabella was so caged when she was at home with her mother, from house to school and from school to house. That is the only place she goes. Then another place was church. She never have time to stay outside till 6 p.m. This was the order from her mother, Doris. She was such a good and overprotective mother. To outsiders, they see it as overprotecting, but to Doris, she wants to guide her daughter so that she wouldn't bring shame to her and the family. Doris always addressed her daughter as her investment. She provided everything she needed, both food, clothes, and shelter. In school, Isabel had never lacked anything. Her mother, Doris, kept providing for her, but there was this thing that Isabel lacks, which is love from a boyfriend. She don't like going close to men due to what her mother told her. Isabella started receiving advice from her fellow friends in school to allow her to see other guys. They advised her to live her own life, that she's supposed to be exposed with men. All this advice made Isabella to start giving men chance in her life. She met one guy in her department, and his name was David. David was a very handsome guy from rich family. Isabella dated him for a semester and quit the relationship because of David's rude nature. And since then, Isabella refused to accept any guy again. She focused on her study. But as a beautiful girl, men still keep coming close to her, but she refused to accept anyone due to the first experience she had with David. One day, Isabella was coming back from school and met a handsome tall man named Frederick. Frederick was a very rich, handsome man. He has this outgoing personality and was very outspoken. Every girl on campus really wanted him as a man friend, but he only chose and loved Isabella. When he approached Isabella for a relationship, she accepted him because Frederick was dream of every girl in campus. The next day, he took Isabella out for dating. They went to one of the richest joints where they discussed and had fun. Isabella really fell in love with him. Frederick started showering gifts to Isabella. He bought gifts, car, and even paid her tuition fee. And she said to herself, who would not be with a guy like this? Isabella and Frederick used to meet up at luxury hotels. Each time he comes, he brings expensive gifts for Isabella, like designer bags, perfumes, shoes, and clothes. When she asked him about his source of income, he told Isabella that he was rich from home. One day, Frederick came to see Isabella, where he rented a big apartment for her. And Isabella asked him about his parents and also want to follow him to go and see his family. And Frederick said that he would meet them at the right time. All my friends became jealous of me and wish they had a boyfriend like mine. One day, Frederick invited Isabella in one of the most beautiful hotels in town. He told her to dress and look beautiful to come and see him in the hotel. When she got there, she saw some decoration as if he invited him to come and see his friend proposal. But when she got to the place, Frederick knelt down and proposed to her and said, I want to marry you, and this is the right time. And Isabella accepted and said yes. Then Frederick told Isabella that this is the right time for her to meet his family. Isabella was super excited. Then he took her for shopping and bought her all the necessary things that she would needed to get meet his family. The plan was to spend about 2 weeks with him and his family. The day of the travel came. His personal driver came and picked Isabella. Isabella and Frederick got their house, and Isabella was shocked. The family house was a big mansion with two security guards and a living cook. When they got inside, she took her shower and came out for dinner, but there was no one else at the dining. They had dinner, just Isabella and Frederick. They had dinner and they went to bed. That night, Isabella had a dream where Frederick was talking with invisible people. 3 nights passed, and Isabella was still having this wild dream and still haven't met his family. So she asked him again when she's going to meet his family, and Frederick told her soon. It was going to be a pleasant surprise that she shouldn't worry. On the fifth night, she had the same wild dream about her boyfriend Frederick, and this time their voices were louder. The next morning, Isabel woke up and she asked her boyfriend Frederick if he was talking with his family on phone last night because she had him talking last night. But he laughed and said, did they also visit you? And Isabella was like, what? And immediately he quickly changed the topic. After 3 days in Frederick's house, he came to Isabella and said, if I had to introduce you to my family, you must promise me that I must be the only man in your life. And whatever I said, you must do it. And you won't have anything to do with any other person. And you must marry me, said Frederick to his girlfriend Isabella. Of course, I love you, and you love me too. So yeah, let's do this, she said. All right, it's time to meet my family. That night, at midnight, he stood in the middle of his sitting room and changed into a huge python. When Isabella saw this, her soul jumped off from her body. She collapsed. By the time I got up, he was shape-shifting, changing from one face to another. I pinched myself to know if I was dreaming, but I wasn't. All of a sudden, I heard like a round of applause, but I couldn't see the people applauding me. The next thing I saw was human shadows around the room, said Isabella. I started trembling. I cried. I was like thinking how to get out of this. I sensed something bad might happen to me if I try to do anything funny. So I quickly changed into surviving mode. I decided to play along. Frederick told me that night that his parents and siblings passed away in a car accident, that he's the half human and half snake. The place Isabella thought it was a mansion was actually the burial ground, a graveyard. He went further to tell Isabella that what he does was to bring ladies there for sacrifice. But Isabella's case was different. He told Isabella that when he met her, he felt so comfortable, so he promised not to sacrifice her. That night, they both danced and had a dinner and retired to their bed. Isabella pretended that night that everything was fine and decided to stay for 3 more nights. Then Isabella came up with an idea. She told Frederick that she had an assignment that she forgot to do, and it is important that she have to end her stay and go back to school. And Frederick accepted and said no problem, and he promised to take Isabella back to school. Guys, the story is getting hotter. Please follow up to the end to the end to listen to this amazing story. What happened after she left his house, thinking she was free? Guys, please subscribe to my channel at African Tales by Ifenkili. Like and share with family and friends. Guys, let's continue. When Frederick and Isabel got to the campus, Frederick dropped her off. She immediately went to see her friends. And when she got there, she told them that she wouldn't like to do anything with her boyfriend Frederick again. She told them if he ever come looking for her, please, you people should tell him that she's no longer in the school. Her friends accepted her request. She changed her phone number, even moved out of her apartment. Few months later, Isabel started having strange sickness and have always dreaming about her ex-boyfriend Frederick. And sometimes he would attack her in the dream, telling Isabel how she promised him marriage, then broke the promise. For that reason that she must pay for it. She always awake in the midnight, screaming and sweating. One day, Isabella woke up and decided to go home and see her parents and told them everything. They took Isabella to one pastor to another, praying and fasting, but nothing changed. So Isabella became so afraid and thin. She became the shadow of herself, couldn't recognize herself, and she became so thin that people started noticing. One of her neighbors came to her parents and said, I know that you guys don't believe in tradition because you are Christians, but there is this traditionalist who might have solution to your daughter's problem. After much deliberation, Isabel's parents finally accepted. The next day, they went to this man. He confirmed everything Isabella's ex-boyfriend Frederick said about himself. He also told Isabella the cause of her breaking the promise she made to Frederick, her ex. The traditionalist gave her instruction to follow and she will be healed. I did as the traditionalist instructed. Finally, she was healed. Few days later, Isabella went back to school, thinking that everything was settled. Little she knew that her worst nightmare was about to start. Isabella graduated from the university, and then again, she started having that wild dreams about Frederick, but she didn't think much about it. Few weeks later, Isabella met another guy named Osita, and they started dating. The first night that they slept together, Osita passed away 30 minutes later. Isabella was shocked, but she thought maybe Osita was sick or something. And a year later, she met another guy named David. And the first time they spent together at a hotel, It wasn't up to 1 hour after I left the hotel. The police came knocking on my door. I was arrested as a murder suspect. I was told that the guy was no more. He passed away after 30 minutes. Isabel started thinking and started asking herself, what is happening? It was during their sexual intercourse that he passed. And she was like, okay, something must be wrong somewhere. Her parents' neighbor took Isabella back to that traditionalist man, and he told Isabella that the only solution was that Isabella would perform a ritual for her predicaments. Then she would go back to her ex-boyfriend and half woman, half snake sleep with him in order to break the curse. If not, men will keep losing their life anytime they sleep with her, because that is spell her ex-boyfriend cast on her. Right now, Isabel was in a state where she don't even know what to do. Guys, this is the end of this amazing story of mine. Guys, what do you learn from this amazing story? If you were Isabella, what will you do? Then, if Isabella were your friend, what do you advise her to do? Let me see your thoughts on the comment section. Guys, please kindly subscribe to my channel as African Tales by Ifenkili. Like and share with family and friends. Turn on your notification button and stay tuned for more interesting and mind-blowing stories coming your way next time. Guys, remain blessed. Bye.